who are the best Pokemon YouTubers and why are they good. We're going to discuss things like what they do on YouTube, the kinds of videos they do, how they come across in their videos, and why do we think they might be some of the more successful people on YouTube. Do apologize if I didn't get everyone. Definitely some that aren't in the thumbnail, which we're definitely going to be discussing here because they're too big to not discuss. So let's just get right into it. So not really doing it in any particular order either. So just going to start it off. This isn't a ranking from like worst to best or anything like that. We're just going to be discussing them and who I think you should be watching on YouTube if you kind of like this kind of content. So there's no hate or anything towards any of these people because they're YouTubers that I watch. So let's start talking about them. So the first one, sorry, I've got my notes here. So if I am looking like left a bit, not because I'm like looking away from the camera, it's just because I'm looking a little bit here because I've got my laptop here. Yeah. So the first one I wanted to talk about is Randolph, guy who's been on YouTube for I don't know how long. I wasn't watching him back then, but I know he's been doing Pokemon content for quite a few years now. One of the founders of a grading company called Ace. If you didn't know Ace, surely if you're in the Pokemon card community, you probably know who Ace are, especially if you're in the UK now. If you're in the US, probably not so much, or he definitely is moving it into the US a little bit more now. Anyway, so they're obviously a grading company. They do grading cards. They do grading cards. That's not how you say it. They will grade your cards. They do like Pokemon cards. They are doing. I think they're probably going into other TCGs and stuff as well. If not already, I'm pretty sure they do other TCGs, not just Pokemon. So if you didn't know about grading, the grading a card is when you rank it. It gets a grade from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. So if it's getting a 10 grade, that means that it is immaculate. It's in perfect condition. It's not got any dots or marks or any weird stuff on it at all. The centering on Pokemon cards, anyway, I don't know about other TCGs, but the centering is perfect. So I'll just get a random card. This is just it's just a thing, but I just wanted to. It's just a hollow. I just wanted to look at the back, so I can see. Is the centering all right on that? Yeah. So like the centering of the border needs to be like in the center as much as possible. If it's off, you've got no chance of it being a 10. Their grading companies are really big on that. There's like a 60-40, or some are doing 55 to 45. I'm not sure what Ace is at the minute. I like Ace because they're a UK based company now, so they're starting to get really big in the UK. I'm from the UK. If you wanted to grade cards in the UK, from different companies such as Tag or PSA, which is the big one, there's Beckett and CGC. You can send it through a third party. You can do it yourself, but then you're going to be spending quite a bit of money on shipping costs, which you don't really want to too much. So I've used one called the Sub Center to send to Tag because I quite like the look of Tag stuff. Still waiting on it, not back yet. I'll do something about I'll do something about those cards when they get back. So we'll see about that. So sorry, things got off. So Ace themselves, unfortunately, had a break-in before Christmas, which is not good news. But since then, seems to have been a massive bounce back. Loads of people are trying to grade with Ace. If you're looking at trying to grade with Ace at the minute, they seem to be doing their best to to open up the services as much as they can. If you're doing it, just keep an eye on it. Eventually, you will get in. There's 4 different levels of service. It's just really busy because everyone wants it at the minute. I don't think there's much more Ace can do. We are getting regular updates. They're hiring new people, so no complaints from me there. But I really do like the Ace slabs, and who doesn't? Oh my god, that's so good. Randolph himself is at the minute doing loads of vendor point of view videos. I know he's been in different places over the US. He was in, I think it was Box Park. Another video I was watching recently of him doing it, which is really nice to see. And he will buy. He'll stay away from PSA, but he'll buy raw cards. Raw cards is what he mainly wants. He will take ace slabs, but he prefers getting them raw because he prefers the process of grading them himself, which I like. Anyway, I like doing that myself as well. Obviously, on his videos, talking about building his new Pokemon stores. He's got that warehouse for Pokerand, showing you expanding the business, which is really nice. And Randolph himself is quite high energy, which I quite like anyway, because it keeps you entertained in the videos and it makes the videos really fun and enjoyable. So that's Randolph. Like the videos, think it's really cool. Like his company and stuff is UK based and mainly on YouTube. It is enjoyable, entertaining, and also I think you're probably able to go on streams on Whatnot for Randolph and Pokerand, which is streaming all the time. This is your quick reminder just to press that subscribe button if you would like to. That would be very much appreciated, and it would help me grow ever so slightly. Thank you very much. So the next one that I wanted to talk about was Pokerev. This guy is the king of ripping Pokemon packs. If you want to see Pokemon packs getting ripped, go to Pokerev because he will rip absolutely everything, and almost every single video that he does on YouTube, his long form videos anyway, is ripping packs. He he goes through them quickly. If you want to see loads of different products, watch this guy. He's got millions of subscribers now because if you're into Pokemon cards, you have an itch to rip packs, and unfortunately, not everyone at the minute, because of the way the Pokemon market is able to rip packs that much. So if you watch this guy, you might get a little bit of satisfaction from ripping packs all the time. Just looking at some of his more recent videos, he's looking at ripping some of the oldest MJ Holden's Pokemon packs, ripping premium Shining Box Pokemon packs. He's looking at some of the new products, like the new Eevee Special Collection box that has that little Eevee pouch in, which is really cool. And I know people are really after it at the minute. When I've looked at shops, not really being able to see it too much. Looking at the GameStop mystery packs, actually, that was quite a good video because it was interesting to see what the GameStop company would put in there. It seemed to be quite repetitive, but you know what? Some of the slabs that were in there were actually really good. Quite a high price point, I think. You're getting some of the Team Rocket stuff, but yeah, if you're watching Pokemon, you'll probably know who Pokerev is. He's class. He's doing these videos all the time. Like there is always content, like 4 or 5 videos a week. They're not like super short videos, between 15 minutes, half an hour, some of them. So if you're into ripping packs and you want to see packs ripped, this guy is the guy for you. Then the next one is Leonhart. Not a guy that I've watched as much as some of the other ones on this list. As far as I know, I think he's been around forever. He's been around for ages. When I've watched his videos, they've been quite inventive and different to what other people have done, and they can also be like quite informative as well, which is really interesting. I've watched a couple of his videos recently in the last month or two, where he was doing videos on GameStop and when they started grading cards. I can't remember exactly when that is. I need to try and stop saying M as well, because that is not that good when you're trying to talk to people who are in front of you. Although it is, it's quite new-ish to be talking to the camera when there's no one around. But we get there. Although I am quite used to talking talking to big groups of people anyway. I suppose I just find it easier when people are just in front of me. God, never mind. Let's take a deep breath. Stop saying it. I don't know why it's just come into my head right now, but don't worry about it. Okay. So yeah, when GameStop started doing grading cards and people were able to drop, well, they weren't grading the cards themselves. They were acting as a supplier to the grading card company. I think it was mainly PSA though. Um, he went into GameStop and he was asking the guy who worked there how the process was worked, which probably helped quite a lot of people to submit the cards because that guy was actually quite good and he was actually quite happy to do it, which was good. Although PSA itself is a grading a American company, obviously, so if you're in the UK as well as GameStop, you can't do that. You just have to deal with it. Oh well. We've got other ways of doing things, so it's fine. It's important to mention. Yeah, I've already said that. Don't worry about that. But anyway, that's Leonhardt. Unfortunately, I probably do need to have a look at his videos a little bit more. I feel a little bit bad about not knowing as much about him, but I don't think he'll worry about it too much. He's got plenty of people following him and watching his videos, so he's pretty good. So that's well done. So yeah, if you need to watch Leonhardt. Okay, on one of my favorite ones, then this guy is, if PokeRev is the king of ripping packs, this guy is the overlord of Pokemon YouTubing. Unlisted Leaf. If you've not heard of him, go check him out right now. He loves Pokemon, and I love watching his videos because of it. I think he's one of the original Pokemon YouTubers, as far as I can tell. Goes back well over a decade, and his videos are just full of passion and it's so pure and so good. You just, how can you not like his videos? He doesn't upload as much as he used to. Actually, I didn't watch him back in the day as much, so I don't really know if he does upload as much as he used to. But he doesn't upload as much as, let's say, the other people on some of the other people on this list anyway. But his videos are always really fun, so that's why literally every video that comes out, I watch it because it's good to watch. I think he may be definitely one of the most appreciative of Pokemon cards, especially regardless of the pull that he gets. Like, he always shows you what it is, not like this, but he'll do like a little cut and an outtake where he's like just showing it in his hands and he's talking about it, and I love that part because it shows his actual appreciation of the card rather than getting it. Oh, I've got a pull, right, there you go. Which sometimes might do, which is fine because you want to get through all the content. But and I think he did say on one of his videos that his editor was complaining because he takes too long when he gets a good pull, and he was just like, oh well, I'm just going to do that anyway. And he's probably pulled some absolutely insane cards in his time. Just look here. Hopefully I can find it quickly. He did, on his video recently, he found a 10 grand card in his Pokemon collection, and I don't think he really knew he had it for quite a while, which is like, what? Like, it's absolutely sick. It's ridiculous. He's got videos such as opening 100 booster packs. He's got videos opening every Pokemon card UPC ever made, hunting, completing completing master sets. He does. He's got absolutely everything, to be honest. And like, his videos themselves, you can tell from his videos that he like genuinely loves Pokemon. Like, and he does it because he loves Pokemon. And isn't that like why people like the Pokemon cards or opening Pokemon cards, or even if they're doing it for money, hopefully they're doing it because it's a way that they enjoy doing it, not because they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, some scalpers, they're just doing it because they think they can make like quick money off it, not because they actually love what they're doing. And if you haven't seen it, he's got a giant Pikachu in the background sometimes, and when he gets something really, really good, he'll jump into it, and it makes everybody happy. So, Unlisted Leaf, one of my favorites, one of the best, will always be one of the best. Check him out if you haven't seen him. Okay, so moving on to some of the more UK. Well, actually, we've already looked at the UK one, but another UK one. Chloe, if you didn't know, is one of the owners of Collector's Card House, and if you did know Chloe, then you will know that she is one of the owners of Collector's Card House, because loads and loads of her videos are based around that shop. And, well, if you have that shop, why wouldn't you? Because it, personally, I haven't visited every Pokemon shop in the UK, but I think it would probably be one of the best ones, if not the best, because it looks absolutely class. So, loads of videos showing the reality of owning a Pokemon shop, which are really nice. Show a kind of point of view of owning the shop, which is good to see and quite informative, and it's quite nice to see that side of it, because you don't always see that when you're just ripping packs all the time. So they don't just sell Pokemon though, so they have other TCG stuff, such as like One Piece if you're into that, and I think they've got Dragon Ball in that shop, which is also good to check out. I love the anime, Dragon Ball. I've seen it all, apart from Daima. It's a new one. I haven't really seen it, and I wasn't as much into GT, but I've never really collected the cards. But if I went there, maybe I would. I've never really came across them before, so I've never really had the chance. So the videos themselves are really informative and actually quite relaxing to watch. The comings and goings of customers, how she deals with the customers, how they deal with her, and everyone's like really polite, and it's such a good community to watch and nice while watching those videos, you know. And you get to see what they're there for. Obviously, they're there for like cards and stuff, and you get to see what they're buying in the shop. And some people, I tell you what, they are buying a lot, like so much. Fair play. If you can afford that, get it. Like, sometimes I am absolutely gobsmacked about like how much people are spending in these shops. Like, good on you, man. If you could do that, good on you. You've obviously gotten there. Like, do it, do it. So, and it shows you what people are interested in at their time. So it shows you like the kind of stuff which is popular in the community at the time. So what sets, what cards, which again is really good to see. In the shop, which also does videos on community days, which promote the new set for Pokemon, which pretty much every set. Although I don't think she did it for Journey Together, because Journey Together was just not ready to be available at the time. Everyone's having that problem. All the scalpers, it's just going, which each set at the minute, eventually that bubble will burst and things will go back to normal. But yeah, really good videos to check out. Say if you're in America or something, you haven't seen those videos, or if you're in a different country, definitely someone to check out. And if you're in the UK, check out that shop. The next one, probably one of my favorite ones, Pokevault. Just high energy, which are extremely entertaining and really fun to watch, which is just what you want in any YouTube video, to be honest. It's just really good. Not sure, to be honest, if anyone else can bring as much energy to Pokemon as this guy does. He has a vault behind him full of Pokemon stuff, hence the name. I think it is more like precious stuff. He doesn't show it all the time. Sometimes he'll just go, let's go look over there, and then he goes and grabs it, and then goes and opens it. And sometimes that he says like, this stuff's been in here for like 10 years, and you're like, okay, let's open it. Come on, let's go. I like the videos as well where he like goes into the garage and just grabs a load of random packs and boxes and opens them up, and it's like, we've just turned $500 into 10, and you're like, fair play, man, fair play. But it is a fun form of gambling, isn't it? And he very rarely seems to pull stuff on video for himself, which is hilarious, to be honest. And I don't watch his streams much, because obviously America, UK time difference and stuff is not always possible. But I was watching one, and I think it was within like 17 packs of 151, he pulled 4 Charizards. Now, and even he was like, eh, like, how's he pulling 4 Charizards in 17 packs? But also, it was all going to his community, so I guess that's why people love him, because they're always pulling like absolute like 5-star stuff. He's pulling 5-star stuff for them, but never for himself. um, and if you didn't know, he's also got an imaginary friend called David, who he's got quite a good rapport and relationship with. Not his imaginary friend, but he kind of plays it off as an imaginary friend. David, though, is his editor. Let's go back. David is his editor, but still manages to seem like he's there in the video, which makes it really fun because you get that to and fro between them. And it's like you get that back and forth, even though he isn't really there. But because I think he's really good at editing, and definitely seems like it because of the way the videos are. It just makes it really fun. You get to see that like editing back and forth, and then David sometimes like takes like the mick out of him, and it's good to watch, you know. But yeah, if you want high energy fun, ripping packs, loads of different stuff, well, have a look at some of his more recent videos. He's actually started a new challenge where it's breaking even challenge by opening Pokemon cards. Whenever I've seen this, it never goes right. And based on his recent history on YouTube videos, probably won't. But I'm rooting for him. Okay, this guy, the next one was actually the one that introduced me to all of the Pokemon world on YouTube and content and stuff like that. Obviously, I knew about Pokemon and stuff, but he kind of was the one that got me back into it, I suppose. So I was into like collecting football cards, but I moved on from that. Went to Pokemon. I didn't really buy many. I just like to have like collections of things. You know, like if you look at the back here, I've got my most of the Fellowship, and well, I like my Lord of the Rings. You know, and I've got a cool Lord of the Rings book at the back. You see the design on it; it looks really nice. But I still need Pippin to complete that set. But this guy, anyway, has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings, just Pokemon. Is Deep Pocket Monster. Um, I think when I found his video, I was actually at work, um, obviously working really hard, and I started watching his video where he completed 151 in 151 minutes, which was really good, and it drew me in straight away because it was like one hell of a challenge, and it was so good to watch. I think it took him 3 attempts to do it, and I think I watched the second one first, and then eventually brought out the third one. I think I watched the first one, but I can't really remember. I think he streams every Monday. I've seen like videos of his streams after. Again, streaming in America, UK, time zones. Can't always watch those streams, even though you might like to. Um, Most of his videos on YouTube are doing challenges such as completing sets in a certain amount of time or collecting things like collecting one of every card from a certain Pokemon. He did one recently where he collected every Gengar ever, and it was a lot, and it took a while, and it was really interesting to see. I think people like to see the pain that it causes him, um, but everyone likes to see him finish it, which is really nice, and I'm pretty sure he did. Also runs a card convention called Card Party, which looks absolutely insane. I can't say what it is or much about it because I've never been. I've only seen it on the videos, but you know what? I'd love to go because it looks absolutely class. And I'm pretty sure almost every like card-based YouTuber goes there. And why wouldn't you? Because it's just one of the places to be honest. Um, but yeah, if you don't really know much about it, it's about Card Party. Check it out, have a look, get there if you can. And obviously, top rated guy, like such a nice guy as well. I saw um a video where he was doing a challenge, a football challenge, soccer if you're American, but football challenge against Pokey Dean, And that's the first time I ever heard about Pokédean as well, which was really cool. And they were doing like little challenges, like Pana crossbar challenge, other things. I don't know if they did kickoffs and stuff, but it was if you won that challenge, then you got to take a Pokemon card from the other person's set, and they kind of like went back and forward, taking each other's cards back, which was really cool. Definitely one of the top guys. Really humble. Really just fun to watch. Cool. Loves the game as well. So yeah, only good words. So since we mentioned Pokédean, let's talk about Pokédean. So again, he's one of the other owners of Collector's Card House. I don't know if there's only two, Chloe, Pokédean. I know there's people that work there. Like I've watched like Pokézetch's streams. He's on Instagram and does like whatnot and stuff for them as well. I don't know if he's got his. I think he's got some of his own YouTube stuff, but yeah, check it out if you want to. So again, Dean does like similar stuff to Chloe. I don't know if they started their channels at different times, because at the time of this video, Poke Chloe's at like one, well, 130k subscribers on YouTube. Poke Dean recently passed 50k. He's on like 56 now as well. Trying to shot past that 50k, really quickly, which is super good. So again, he does loads of point of view videos are in the shop, and they're really nice to watch. Sometimes Pokédean and Pokéchloe are filming at the same time. Sometimes they're not, so you get to see like different sides and different perspectives of that card shop, which is really nice because you get to see what he's doing, then you can watch it, and it might be Pokéchloe videoing at the same time. But then you get to see a completely different perspective of that day, because they're working with different people, so it's really interesting to watch that too. I think he does live streams on whatnot, which I have seen. Probably Chloe does as well, and Collector's Card House does too. Really good to get into it. I am trying to see if I have any of the cards that I've bought from Collector's Card House on hand. I do not. I think they are in a binder somewhere. What did I get? I think I bought I got that, I think, from one of their streams, which kind of makes me want to get all of the futsal cards. Because why wouldn't you? And I got it really cheap. I swear I got it like £8, and it's in really good condition as well. So check that out because you will get some good deals. Definitely check it out. So yeah, another really cool UK based YouTuber. Definitely watch him out. Check him out. They obviously got their own business in Collector's Card House. Okay, next one to check out is Cool Trainer Ryan. Definitely, well, for your more adult audience. And I rate it. To be honest. I'm not watching him as much, but can't knock a guy. He does what he does, and he does it well. To be honest, loads of different kinds of videos, opening stuff. Let's see if I can pull any of this stuff up here. Where is it? There we go. So some of his more recent stuff. Opening up Evolving Skies in like 2025. 9-year-old Pokemon tin, opening up that Prismatic Evolutions box, which everyone's trying to get. And apparently it's got all the hits. I've not watched that video yet, but I think I might try and see what he gets. He's also, what I've seen, does loads of collabs with Pokevault and PokeRev. So if you like them, you will have heard of I don't think you'll appreciate that. Not Poke Ryan, Cool Trainer Ryan. But yeah, definitely check this guy out. Again, high energy, high fun. He's got a little thing like he throws like code cards at, which is quite cool. I don't know if he's replaced it before. Definitely probably will have by the amount that thing gets hit. To be fair, I've not seen he can throw cards like really well. So fair play to the guy. But yeah, if you want pack rips, collabs, stuff like that, watch this guy. Yeah, because I've seen him in a collab video. I think it was one of PokeRev's videos. So definitely check him out. Next one, this guy has a really big following and is probably one of the best people for doing what he does. This guy, Pokebeard, he is someone, if you want to know about the financials of Pokemon, watch him. So he does videos such as Market Mondays, so every week seeing how the market is going. Um, That's giving you your weekly update on the market. You've got What If Wednesdays, which is a weekly investing, collecting Q&A. So you want to think about what might happen on the Wednesdays. Throwback Thursdays, which is probably looking at more vintage card stuff. If you like vintage, which people did in like the boom in 2020, definitely something to keep an eye on, because trends come back around. Vintage might become massive, like again, and I'm sure it will, because the older it gets, surely the value goes up. There's no reason as to why it wouldn't. It's just what's popular at the time. Throwback Thursdays, I've just said about that. Never mind. Fallen Fridays, which you can probably assume shows what's coming down in price every Friday, what's happening in the market. And then Slab Sundays, which will look at the price of slabs. So looks like he's just started doing vendor point of views as well, but you will get an in-depth analysis of what's happening, what's changing, what's going up, what's going down, specifics of set, cards, slabs, anything, and it is 4 or 5 times a week, every single week. This guy does not miss, and he's got a massive following for a reason. Check him out. Definitely, if you're thinking about like the business side as well, have a go, have a look. Okay, just some little honorable mentions here as well, though. I think I've looked at more of the bigger guys, and what they've done and talked about them, but just some people who may not be as large, have larger following as the other ones which I mentioned on this list. And there's definitely probably large YouTubers which I've missed, just not ones that I may have seen before. So sorry about that if I have not got to them. So next one is this guy, Max Does Pokemon, has been doing videos about growing his Pokemon business and his Pokemon journey, called Grail Gallery. And they are some of the best edited videos I have seen in a long time. They're so chilled and they're so good. And these guys who were doing it with him as well, they have grown that Whatnot so well and so fast over the course of like 6 months. And that following is growing and growing and growing. And I can see why. Like it's already gone up a couple of thousand like subscribers. So if you want to, it's not bringing the videos out all the time, but the videos when they do come out are like excellent, which is very understandable. But what they are doing is on Whatnot all the time. So definitely check them out. Next one is Gem TCG. Videos all about selling cards and all about the little intricacies that come with it and come along with it, which is really nice to see, and how to sell on different sites and everything that you need to do so. So it gives you advice on all of these little things that you might not like think about. So things like are the riches really in the niches? Never miss out on like the daily Pokemon markets, like swing prices. You know what? The thumbnails as well recently have like really improved. Not that I'm like a thumbnail master or anything, but you can tell that he's really starting to think about that. And to be honest, it is working. Like he's getting more and more views on the last 20 or so videos, I think. Definitely getting a larger subscriber count. But yeah, just loads of advice on like little different things, which are really nice to see. So definitely check him out as well. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. So we've discussed some of the top Pokemon YouTubers, which you definitely should be checking out, and what they're doing, why they're good, and some of the maybe little less known guys at the minute, which are definitely on the rise, and I think will become much bigger over time. Um, if you have been watching this and you're still here at this point in the video, please subscribe. I want to try and do these kind of videos a little bit more. Still still want to be opening packs as much as I can. I want to try and like discuss Pokemon trends itself. Just try and do things which are a bit more informative and try and keep things fun, fun for everyone to watch. So thanks very much. Please subscribe to that button. Please check out some of my older videos. I'll link some down here or there, wherever they will be. And keep watching, please. You ever said to yourself that this is just a fun little hobby right after spending maybe £100 on really shiny cardboard, and then thought, oh, maybe I've got loads of stuff stashed all over the house, and then like, what am I kind of doing? Let's be honest though, we've kind of all been there. You get that mix of excitement, guilt, and second guessing. And today, this is the kind of thing that we're going to be talking about. We all know that Pokemon cards should be fun, or the collecting side of Pokemon should be fun anyway. But sometimes for a lot of us, a kind of pressure creeps in. We'll get that FOMO. We'll feel like we need to be keeping up all the time. And for a lot of us, you just can't, no matter how hard you try. Some of us are like chasing too hard, and we're really kind of forgetting what made it fun in the first place, and that's the kind of thing that we need to try and get back to. You start to get a bit guilty, you maybe start to feel like a little bit overwhelmed, and you start getting those second thoughts creeping in, like, why am I actually doing this? You know, I shouldn't really be doing this still. Should I start, collecting something else? Is this the kind of thing that's for me? Am I spending too much money? Can I actually afford it? And then it goes around and around and around and around and around. And yeah, you can't keep up with it sometimes. So in this video, what we're going to do is talk about 7 steps or 7 different ways that we can talk about that will help reduce that stress, that sense of overwhelming, will help us enjoy collecting again, all without the guilt of spending too much money and losing track of where you are. I'm going to be a little bit honest here. This is probably one of these videos where you can kind of sit back, chill. Sometimes I like to do things where maybe when I'm cleaning the house, I've got a YouTube video on and I'm doing those kind of things, or you're driving the car to work and you're listening to that video. That's the kind of video that this is going to be, that I think, you can kind of watch at the same time while you're doing other stuff, and it's something that you can just like leave on and let play and just listen to and be really chilled with. So why don't we think about why the hobby gets stressful? So let's all go back to the start. You've bought a pack, you get something good, then you think, oh, I'll get a slab, and then you think, oh, I'll get a box, and then you think, right, I'm going to start collecting this set, and then that set, and this set, and then suddenly trying to keep up with all these sets, it starts to feel a little bit more like a part-time job, potentially, but a part-time job that drains all of your money. Yep, we've been there sometimes, and at that point it starts to become something that is less enjoyable, when in reality collecting Pokemon cards should always be enjoyable. And this is the point where you've realized that you've lost the reason as to why you started in the first place, and you need to go back to that reason. Let's start thinking about it a little bit. If that does sound familiar, you definitely aren't alone. And the good news is that there are definitely ways to make it a little bit more manageable. So here are the 7 steps. Instead of after every purchase, like thinking, oh, I've spent too much money on this, and feeling guilty about it, try thinking, you know what, I'm actually building something that is trying to bring me joy. Yes, don't spend too much money on it, but think about why you're buying it. What's the reason for? You need that reason to help you think why you find this enjoyable. I'm not just saying just go out there and spend a load of money. You need to be mindful about what you are spending and give yourself that goal about how much money you want to be spending at that specific time, and really think about what you can afford. You know what, if you are worrying too much about the money at the time, like maybe it is the best option just to roll it back ever so slightly. You know what, one of the things that I fall into is thinking, oh, if I buy this card now, it's going to appreciate in value, but I may not need the money in the future, but I might need it a little bit more now. So yes, if you're trying to justify it to yourself, thinking, yeah, I'm going to get loads of value out of this card, but if you never sell it, then what's the point of buying it in the first place if you're buying it for the value of the card? Just focus on why you're collecting in the first place. and think about, that it's not giving you stress rather than having to focus on the money. I feel like a lot of people become more stressed on things because they're spending the money and they're thinking about the money side of the Pokemon cards too much. Even fun hobbies need boundaries. You need to know your limits, because if you're spending too much, you really can get yourself in a world of trouble, and there are people that have from Pokemon cards. So just set yourself those boundaries and rein it in slightly, because nobody wants that, you don't want that, nobody else wants it. So one thing you can do is set a monthly spending limit. So think about how much you earn and what you can spend that month. Maybe you could do it weekly, maybe you could do it monthly, maybe you could do it yearly, but that's quite a big gap to have if you're doing it yearly. And treat it maybe a little bit like any other subscription service. Like, I am spending £50 on Pokemon cards this month, this is what I've got, can't go over it. Kind of like you spend certain amount on Netflix or Disney Plus or any other subscription service that you buy at that time. Pokemon itself can't come before your major responsibilities. If you've got a mortgage or rent payments or bills to pay, make sure they're the things that get paid first, because they are the really important things. Pokemon is just a hobby. Don't let other things get sidetracked. Pay those bills, pay that mortgage, pay that rent, make sure it's sorted, because you can't pay those things with Pokemon cards. Your Pokemon cards may be of value, but you can't use them as currency for other things. If you're bad with money, really cement that fact. Make sure other things are paid for before you're starting to spend more money on Pokemon cards. Really think about it at the time. Try not to do it. I know it's so tempting. You see that Umbreon, but you may spend your full monthly allowance or your full salary that you get paid monthly on that. Let's think of a card, the Umbreon card, or the two Umbreon cards, the Moonbreon and then the Sunbreon. Pretty much anything, to be honest, you could spend that amount of money on. There are a lot of cards to choose from. Just don't do it before you have paid for the things that you need to do. Set aside money each month. Like what I've said, you could set that £50 out, and you know that it's that money is exactly for your Pokemon cards. It's for nothing else. You know you've got that exact amount of money to spend. You don't have to worry about spending anything else. Or there is other things. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but you can save £5 a day. I know you can do it. You spend sometimes probably more money than that on other things. That is something that I do. I save £5 a day and put it into a different account. And to be honest, it's actually racked up quite a lot over the last year, because I've not missed a day at all. And you don't think that it's going to make too much for a dent or give you too much in the end, but once it all adds up, it really does add up. And I've never really saved that way, and to be honest, it is good advice and it does work. So here's a little example. You know, when you're in the house and you're like, oh, this place is like way too messy and I really need to clean up to kind of be productive. And I do this like all the time. Like, I'll be in the house and just thinking, I cannot do anything right now because I kind of think in this clutter, the clutter is like too annoying and I need to be organized. And to be honest, I don't need to be like super duper clean. I just need to have a little bit of semblance of organization. I just don't like things to be super messy, even if I'm kind of cleanly chaos. Things will kind of be all over the place, but I like know where everything is, you know? Like, I'm that guy that'll have that clipboard under the drawer, under the computer table, on the left side of my room, but I'll know where that thing is, and everyone else will be like, that's a little bit chaotic, but I want to just know that it's there, and when people start moving things, that's not really what I like. But you could do the same thing with your Pokemon cards. Like, take stock of what you've got, organize it, put your different cards together. So like, you could have this set here, that set there, those packs there, this these ETBs here, these booster bundles here, these special cards can go over there. You just really like take stock of what you've got and where you have everything. Because some people have like absolute inordinate amounts of stuff that they probably don't need, and to be honest, some things that they've probably even like forgotten about. Like just make sure you know where everything is, and you might be surprised about the things that you actually find, and it might give you a clearer head about what you've got. And you could even think, oh, while I'm doing this, there are some things that I've not seen in a while. Why isn't this something I could get rid of rather than keeping? Because if you've not really seen it, honest, some people have like absolute metric tons of clothes. They never wear them anymore. So just think like, if I've got these clothes and I'm not using them, what's the point of having them? And they could benefit someone else, and they could benefit me by selling them off as well. And it helps you with getting a little bit more money, and you also get a little bit more storage space. So it's kind of a win-win for the person that's taking it and you who's getting it back. I think that's quite a good idea, personally. And you also get that little bit of sense of pride and sense of achievement from like cleaning up after yourself, which is just quite nice in the long run as well, and in the short term. Because I always feel like, when you're a kid and you're like, look at me, mum, dad, I've cleaned my room, it's class, and I'm like, new room, new me. and yeah, it does help for half an hour, but that does benefit you. It is good for you. It is something that needs to be done, so just do it every so often. And the next one is like, instead of just buying a load of random packs because that's what's hot on the market today, like, I've really realized that Pokemon fans get massive FOMO. Like, Destined Rivals is coming out soon, Black Flare and White Flare and Black Bolt are coming out soon, and everyone's like pre-ordering them, and everyone's desperate for them. And Journey Together came out, all of that like tanked a little bit, and I kind of thought it would anyway, because the cards were, yes, good, but there wasn't anything like majorly popular personally for me. Like, so instead of doing that, try and build towards something. A lot of people collect those sets, or a lot of people are collecting, let's say, certain numbered slabs, like collecting 10s or collecting 9s or collecting 8s, and there are those people that collect 1s. They're a rare breed, but they're a special breed. Keep going for that. You are special people, please do it, because it looks quite cool when you've got a 1 collection. Some people are collecting like all of the Pikachus or all of the Charizards. I do not recommend it. There are far too many and it's way too expensive. Unless you've got that money, do not do the Charizards. Do not set that goal. But please don't. It is a dangerous path to go down. Go for like all the Caterpies or something. That's a nicer one to do. Maybe. I think there are quite a lot of Caterpies still. Because it's a Gen 1 Pokemon, and a lot of the Gen 1 Pokemon have quite a lot of cards. But worth a shot going for something nice, and Caterpie's cute, isn't it? Make sure that you've got that direction, because having a direction makes things a lot more satisfying and probably a bit easier for you, because you know what things you're collecting, and it makes things a lot more organized and a lot more clear for you. But saying that, opening Pokemon packs can get very, very addicting. So I'm not saying just don't open any Pokemon packs, because we all love opening Pokemon packs, and you get that rush, and it's cool and it's fun, and when you get something great, it's like the best thing ever, because you get something good, and then you get that sense of, it's mine, it's definitely mine, because it's something that I've pulled myself. But you can spend absolute inordinate amounts of money looking for that card, and you might get it, but you may have spent like way more than what that card is worth in the end. So is it really worth it in the long run to do that? Maybe just set yourself a pack limit, or if we're talking about the last point, thinking about that budget that we set for ourselves, give yourself that budget on packs and cards and what you can like achieve and spend at that time. Because even though you may only open 10 packs, you still might get that good card, so don't worry about it too much. You will get those cards in the end. It's just a numbers game. Just don't have to go crazy with the numbers. think about keeping track of what you're buying as well. Like, watch what you're buying, like really like log it. Also think about why you're buying it. Are you buying excessively because you're bored? Is it because of the hype? Think about those reasons, and it might help you decide, is this something that you really need to buy at that specific time? So keep that log if you need to, because it'll help you keep track of what you've done and what you've spent. And it really helps you organize your thoughts. You can do this on a spreadsheet, or you can do it like written down, but I personally think doing it on a spreadsheet on a computer is way more easier. And then at that point, it helps you understand the patterns of what you're buying. So like your buying patterns, which helps you in the end stay a lot more in control of what you're spending, because you are just more organized while you're doing it. I have a spreadsheet, and it helps me keep control of what I've bought. So I have like the name of the card, and then I have like what set it's from, and then I have how much I've spent on it, and then how much I have sold it for, if I've sold it, because at this point I haven't really sold too many things at that time, so I am deeply in the red of what I've spent and what I've sold. I think like the last card I sold was like the Ledian from Stellar Crown. I think it was Stellar Crown, maybe Surgeon Sparks, I can't remember. I think it's Surgeon Sparks actually, and that was like a $5, but it's something, and at least I know that I've had that card and I sold that card. It may have gone up, but yeah, whatever, it's been sold. I can't really do anything about it. It's gone. I can buy that card again, I can sell it again, but that specific card that I had is gone, so I'm not going to worry about it anymore. It's gone, and it's nothing that I need to think about. So just set those limits again, and make sure that you're keeping track of what you're actually spending, because that will keep you on track, and you'll know where your budget is, of what you spent, what you haven't spent, and help you organize your thoughts. So some of the best moments in cards don't happen alone. One thing you can do is like join a community, join a Discord, and it really helps you feel that sense of why you're doing this. And you're doing this because other people are doing it as well, and because you enjoy it, they enjoy it, it brings you together, which is a really, really nice thing to have. When things are more social, become a lot more rewarding, and everyone needs that social side of things. And remember, this is a TCG, and try and remember what the T in TCG stands for. It stands for trading, and a lot of people are really, really reluctant to sell, or not sell, but sometimes sell, but reluctant to trade their cards. And yes, they are reluctant to sell their cards, but just think, this is one of the main reasons of Pokemon cards, is to sell and enjoy them and let other people enjoy them. And that trading side means you could get something really good as well when you're trading with other people, especially people who are in the community. To be honest, most will be good, and they will give you a good deal if it's something that they want as well. So just make sure you're like, something that's really helpful if you like know the people as well. So if you're getting more into that community, you get a lot more trust. And to be honest, the more you know these people, the better deals you get off them, especially vendors. If you're going to these local vendors all the time, or this local card shop, you will get a way better deal. They might even hold stuff back for you, which is a really nice thing to do, and they definitely will. They are really good at that kind of stuff. Like, if someone is a genuine collector, most of the time they will give you like a good deal, and you'll come to a nice agreement, which is always something that's really nice in the Pokemon community. And the last thing is that, to be honest, everything takes time. Like, it's gonna take time and money and effort. You just kind of have to accept that. The more you rush, the harder things are gonna get. Just really take your time with whatever you're collecting and whatever you're doing, because you'll find things a lot easier at that point. Like, you're not wasting anything if it takes a little bit longer. You're just prioritizing your time on things that matter a lot more to you. Because if you're rushing, that is when you like panic spend, and you get that FOMO, and you do things wrong, and you start spending money on, I don't know, some box breaks where you may have spent £15 on trying to get that card from a pull of Terrestrial Festival, and then it just doesn't come out, and then you've just spent £15 on nothing. Like, it can get addicting, but just try not to rush into it too much, okay? Things like that can really get expensive, so just if you take your time with it, things will fall into place and you will get those things that you want. It just doesn't have to happen straight away. And I feel like some people just don't have the patience for that. You really need to practice doing that kind of thing, because FOMO is real, man. As a last thing, if you are feeling a little bit stressed and overwhelmed by collecting, remember why it's fun and take a breath. You might be on the edge of giving up, but you don't have to give up. All you really need to do is just recalibrate a little bit and make sure you know where you're at and your goals, and you will get there. So drop a comment and tell me what's been the most overwhelming thing in the hobby for you recently. And if you've liked this video, drop a like and please subscribe to the channel, and there'll be more videos like this on Pokemon, which should help you get through collecting yourself. And doing that will also help other collectors who are struggling find this video, and hopefully if I can help one, I can help more people do this as well. So subscribe for more videos that'll help you collect smarter rather than harder. And also, it's okay to be obsessed with the things that you love. Just make sure that you've got some time for yourself. And there will be some other videos that will come up at some point on the screen, so please check them out as well, because they're also about opening Pokemon and other advice videos as well on what to do on Pokemon. Things like the good and the bad side of Pokemon at the minute, things that we're all stressing about, that people are thinking about in the hobby, may not be stressing about, but you know, you want to be focused on the things that you need to be focused on if you're wanting to enjoy this kind of hobby. So please give them a look, and I will see you in that video. Pokemon cards, are they nostalgia in a binder or a black hole for your wallet? Whether you're a lifelong collector or someone who just ripped open your first booster, today we're diving into the good, the bad, and the crazy part of collecting Pokemon cards. There's a lot to love, a few things to watch out for, and plenty of stories to share. So we're going to start with the good stuff. Pokemon cards are more than just a game. They're literally mini artworks. From dazzling holographics to cozy, cute designs, there's something for everyone. And the variety, absolutely insane. Charizard alone, at the time of making this video, has 197 different cards, according to websites like pkmn.gg. That's nearly 200 ways to show off your love for one Pokemon. Number 2, we've got endless variety in how you can collect. This is what makes collecting truly special. You can approach it however you want. Some people stick to vintage sets like Base Set, Jungle, or Fossil. Within those, you've got first editions, shadowless versions, unlimited print runs, all with different price points and scarcity, which some are becoming very scarce. Other people like to go modern. Sets like Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon 151, or Crown Zenith from Sword and Shield. Some try and chase complete sets. Others want Pikachu or Eevee cards. You could collect full art trainers or reverse holos. It's your journey, which is what's good about it. One of the most talked about sets lately is Pokemon 151, which focuses entirely on the Gen 1 roster. It's both nostalgic and modernized, perfect for old fans and new collectors alike. I myself have been going after this set and only need 6 more cards. Completing a modern set feels quite rewarding, especially with all the stunning artwork and special variants that you can get these days. Want to collect all the cards from every set ever released? That's a massive challenge. Do you prefer to collect only Pokemon like Gengar or Gardevoir? That's perfectly valid and rewarding route too. Some people even focus solely on promo cards or cards exclusive to events and tournaments. The possibilities are endless and there's no right way to do it. The nostalgia is real for most of us who started collecting now. A lot of us started in the late 90s or early 2000s. We're in our late 20s, 30s or even 40s nowadays. And for many, collecting again is like reconnecting with childhood memories. Whether you've never stopped or recently got back into it thanks to the reprints like Pokemon 151 or your kids, nostalgia is a powerful driver. There's something magical about holding a card you used to trade on the playground. Another reason is easy storage, for singles at least. Unlike many hobbies, Pokemon card collecting can be space efficient. Binders can hold up to 1,000 cards and be stored on a single shelf. That's potentially thousands of dollars of value neatly packed into a small space. If you live in an apartment or a shared house, this makes the hobby incredibly practical space-wise. Now, if you collect sealed product, storage becomes a whole different beast. I've seen collectors with entire garages filled with booster boxes and ETBs. Some never open them, holding them as investments. Others crack them open on special occasions. It's always a push and pull. Do you open that one ETB for fun, or keep it sealed because you know its value will only rise? Let's talk investment. Yes, Pokemon collecting can make you money if you know what you're doing. Some people invest massively, buying product they enjoy, but don't plan to open it. Others specifically buy it to flip later. A perfect example is sets like Evolving Skies, which skyrocketed in value, so if you bought them, you've done really, really well. Or vintage sealed boxes, and if you manage to keep one from your childhood, you're probably absolutely rolling it now and you're sitting on gold. The community itself, whether you're joining Facebook groups, Reddit threads, Discord servers, or watching live streams, there's a vibrant, passionate community around Pokemon cards. You can trade, chat, learn, or just share your pulls. Some of my favourite moments have come from online chats or meeting people at card shows. It's not just a hobby, it's a social circle. Many collectors, including myself, really focus on the art. There are some stunning pieces out there. Cards that look like paintings, sketches, or watercolours. Some illustrators like Mitsuhiro Arita or Naoki Saito have developed cult followings. Collecting for that art alone is a fulfilling pursuit. People like collecting their artwork. It's a hobby that grows with you as you mature. Your approach to the hobby matures too. Maybe you go from ripping booster packs as a teen to investing in sealed cases. Maybe you start grading cards. Maybe you get your kids into collecting. This hobby can evolve with your life. That's something very few hobbies can offer. Okay, let's start and have a look at the bad side of Pokemon. Let's start with the obvious one, and that's scalpers. These are the folks who buy out entire stocks on release day and try to flip it on eBay and other sites for profit. New sets like Prismatic Evolutions, Journey Together, and Destined Rivals are especially affected by scalpers. And the result of that is that casual collectors and kids can't find product without paying inflated prices. Number two, prices can be ridiculous even without scalpers. Some products are just priced insanely. Prismatic Evolutions, for instance, nearly doubled in price at release. And while I don't highly blame local card shops, they often pay high wholesale prices. It still stings when a booster box costs more than a video game console. Sometimes it can feel like gambling. Here's the honest truth. Opening packs is a form of gambling. There's a rush, a thrill, but also a risk. You might rip through 10 packs, but pull nothing but bulk. Meanwhile, online creators rip hundreds of packs trying to chase a single card. I watched someone spend $20,000, I think it was dollars, trying to pull the Umbreon from Prismatic, and they got it in the end, but that card is worth $1,500, so it's just not worth it, and it's not a great return in the end. And it's easy to get addicted. That thrill that we just talked about, it can get out of hand. One pack becomes 10, then 20, and before you know it, you're spending more than you planned. And with influencers showing off massive openings, it's easy to feel like you need to keep up. You don't. Enjoy the hobby within your limits and pace yourself. Getting your hand on products can be a nightmare. Some places get plenty of stock, and others barely get any. Online restocks disappear in seconds. If you're not refreshing your browser constantly, you miss out. Kids, for example, are getting priced out. With prices rising and parents seeing cards as an unnecessary luxury, younger fans often get left out. And that is a real shame, because some of the best parts of this hobby are rooted in childhood joy. So there you have it, the highs and lows, joys, frustrations, and fire pulls from Pokemon collecting. It's a hobby that can bring tons of excitement, but also some real world headaches. Still, for many of us, the good far outweighs the bad. If you felt seen during this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. What's your dream card right now? Or tell me your best pull ever. I've got more content coming your way. Pack openings, card art deep dives, investment breakdowns, and collector Q&As. So stay tuned and happy collecting. Have you ever said to yourself that maybe you're just going to get a few cards, maybe some Pikachus, maybe some Eevees, and then it turns into you getting pre-orders, different types of boxes, then you get a binder, and then all of a sudden you've got the second binder, that third binder, and you don't know how they've filled up? Yep, we've all been there. Today we're digging into why so many people say they're going to start off small with Pokemon and then somehow end up getting way deeper than that they planned. Let's talk about what's really going on behind the habit and how you can take back a little bit of control, or at least, how you can pretend to. So for a lot of people, it might have started innocently enough. You might have wanted that nostalgic card that brings you back to your childhood, especially for people that are maybe my age, in their late 20s and early 30s, who were playing maybe the games and collecting the Pokemon cards when they were at school. Maybe you are thinking about the first Pokemon that you ever got, or the first Pokemon that you ever picked in a game. One of my first ones was on Pokemon Silver, also Pokemon Crystal potentially, and I always picked Cyndaquil because I really like the fire Pokemon. So then you hop online, you find a listing of that card, of that Pokemon that you wanted, and you end up buying it. And it feels great. And then you think, ooh, I really like this card. It'd be cool to have maybe the matching holo or the Japanese version. And then suddenly, like if I've started off with Cyndaquil, I get the whole evolution line. Just like that, you're spiraling faster than a Gyarados in a whirlpool. And why do we do? Because collecting taps into a natural progression. A lot of us crave completion, and a lot of us are completionists. We just like to complete things. People like having perfection. And then that checklist mentality kicks in. Make sure you've got that, you make sure you've got that, you make sure you've got that, and then you're done. And all of a sudden, it's not just about collecting that one Pokemon, such as Pikachu, anymore. You're completing absolutely everything. And it's about building something that feels whole. Let's be honest, the rush of finding a card can often be a lot better than the rush of owning the card. Things like sniping the last auction, or spotting a hidden gem in a bulk bin, or just ripping a fresh pack. There's something electric about finding that's something new, and all about that chase. A lot of us crave that chase of finding something great. We like that more than actual having the product. And if we're talking about recent times, if we add that to limited stock, price rises, and the dreaded FOMO, so that fear of missing out, suddenly every pack that we're opening feels like a time-sensitive mission. And eventually, you're like Indiana Jones collecting relics, dodging scalpers, trying to get that single card that you want. But it's not just the hunt, it's the feeling. Pokemon is personal to many of us. Maybe you collected as a kid. Maybe you traded cards at break time in school. Or maybe you never got to, and you're trying to do it again in adulthood and trying to relive your childhood, which is a really nice experience because there are lots of opportunities to do that. If you go to your local card shop, card shows, your LGS, it's the same thing. But if you go to those kind of places, there are those opportunities to do it. And a lot of us like to do it, and it's great. And you see it all the time on YouTube. So why can't you do it as well? Then if we think about that emotional connection, it runs really deep in a lot of us. They aren't just cards, they're memories, they're comfort, they're escapism, and they're a little bundle of joy in that little plastic sleeve. Now let's talk about the total rational part of collecting Pokemon. A lot of us tell ourselves it's not just fun, it's a really smart financial decision, right? Right. Some cards go up in value, a lot don't. And a lot of people spend more on the chase than they ever will earn back. Obviously, though, there are those who've made a lot of money, and they're the kind of people that a lot of people are aspiring to be. But if we think about it rationally, that's probably quite a small percentage of the people that actually are collecting. So there are a lot of people that are just doing it for the fun. A lot of people, scalpers, are doing it for the money. But personally, they're not really doing it in the right way. You see a lot of these big guys, though, these shops and things, people at card shows who are doing it in the right way. And I know a lot of people want to do that as well. And for a lot of people, the way they're buying, it's like almost trying to buy the lottery ticket for a retirement plan. Like you're maybe ripping a load of Evolving Skies looking for the Moonbryon, and the odds aren't very high. Although technically it is possible, so who might say? The market itself, though, is extremely volatile. Unless you're ultra informed or ultra lucky, this strategy often ends up with you overbuying and often in denial. So how do we keep this hobby fun, enjoyable, without it being financially devastating? For many of us, a lot of us can't afford to spend lots and lots of pounds or dollars or whatever you use on buying thousands and thousands of high value Pokemon cards. Give yourself a monthly limit, a card strategy, or a completion goal to try and figure out what you want to do personally. Wait a day, and if you still want it tomorrow, maybe it's worth it. And if not, congrats, you've dodged the $40 impulse buy. My advice would be don't start buying cards in the middle of the night. I've done it before and I've regretted it. And I've thought, why have I just spent all that money on those cards? So kind of set yourself a time period that might be good for you. So maybe you're thinking, oftentimes I would say buy, well, me personally, I would be buying between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. because that's the time maybe when I'm most rational and have the most clear head. When I'm sitting in bed, scrolling through my phone before I actually go to sleep, I'm probably really tired and not really thinking clearly. Do I want to spend 50 quid on something that might be going down in price, might be going up in price, and it's probably at that time of the night more of an impulse buy? And I know a lot of people do it. Try and track your spending as well. Awareness is powerful and a spreadsheet is really good. Although sometimes doing a spreadsheet can be quite boring and it does take a lot of time, but in the long run, it's probably a good investment to make. And join groups that focus on sharing and advice rather than just showing off their rare pulls, although it is really cool to see that kind of stuff, But then you kind of get that FOMO of why they're getting it and you're not getting it. And there are like a plethora of groups that you could go into. There are loads of things on like Facebook, there are probably WhatsApp, there's Discord. Join them, try and find the one that's right for you. There are really good communities out there which will help you and help you think about what kind of things you want to do when you're thinking about going into Pokemon. And if you're unsure, maybe just watch like a 10-minute clip of someone opening Evolving Skies, and that'll kind of bring you back down to earth and think, maybe I shouldn't be investing so much money into pulling those packs because sometimes the sets are really, really hard. And look, if we're going to end it off here, collecting Pokemon is supposed to be fun. So whether you're in it for the art or the nostalgia or the money, just keep an eye on when the fun stops becoming fun and it starts becoming stress. Your collection doesn't have to be massive to be meaningful. And sometimes a single card can mean a lot more to you than a whole shelf or whole binder of cards that you don't really care about. And one of my favourite cards at the minute is this. The Charizard from 151, which is, I think, a lot of people's favourite cards. 151 is something that brings nostalgia. For people my age, it's those Pokemon that we all loved and enjoyed. It was those Pokemon that we played the games with. It was those Pokemon that were first on the cards that we collected. So they are something that brings us back to when we were really young and something that we all really enjoyed and something that we remember. Like the first generation of Pokemon are the Pokemon that I remember the most and like the most. I do like Generation 2 and Generation 3 a bit as well. But the later generations are something that I don't know as much about, but I am starting to learn about them, and it is really cool because there are loads of Pokemon out there which I don't really know and which do have really cool things about them and look really cool and have cool cards. So what was your first time when you thought, I'm just going to buy this one card, and then it started spiraling out of control? Drop your story into the comments and we can all share it with each other. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the psychology, the chaos of collect, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you can see every video that comes up. So I'm going to have more stories, more nostalgia, and more strategy about collecting Pokemon cards coming soon. So please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. So I just want to talk about Destined Rivals really quickly. But what you need to be really careful of is if you're going to be buying it now, that price looks like it's going to be tanking. We've seen it happen recently with the last couple of sets, such as Journey Together, obviously, and kind of happening with Prismatic Evolutions a little bit at the minute. So if we just look here, let's have a look at this Destined Rivals booster box. It's going, see straight away, the market price was $384. And look at that, straight down, already down to 260. And to be honest, I think that's going to keep on going. And you can see it with just other things as well. Like if we go to the Elite Trainer box. So this is just the regular Elite Trainer box. It's not the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. The Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box will be more expensive, but the thing with that is that it is also going down in price as well. If we have a look here, look again, that this trend starts off really high, and I have no idea who's buying this. It says 2 people bought it, or 2 items sold, so someone's buying it. But then if you've bought that for that price because you were so desperate for it, again, it's just that FOMO. I talk about it all the time. Just got to be really careful and watch this price. Only 2 people have bought it, and then within, when's this? 24th to 26th of March, and by the 5th of April to the 7th of April, it's tanked in price. And these have only just come out on pre-sale on Monday. So you just got to be really careful. And if you're not getting them on your pre-order, just don't worry about it. You will get them eventually. And you see, by the end of May, it's $117. So it's gone down from $349 to $117, which is absolutely insane. That drop is just crazy. You've got to be really careful of trying to buy these things. And this is just what's happening. It's going to happen with Destined Rivals, and it might even happen with Black Bolt and White Flare. I always say this, Black Flare and White Bolt. It just isn't the thing. But I just keep doing it by accident. So just if you aren't getting that on pre-order, just be really, really careful. We'll have a look at the next one. Now, the Destined Rivals Booster Bundle. Personally, I really like booster bundles. Booster bundles are one of my favorite things to buy because I always feel like you get really good hits from a booster bundle. It's just my look. I really don't like triple blisters. The only reason is because I just don't get hits from them, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. I have no explanation for it. I just don't get hits from triple blisters. But back to the booster bundles. Again, the same thing's happening. I don't know who is buying a booster bundle for $84 straight off the bat. Again, one person's bought it. Then the next day, again, 17 people have bought it, so 17 items sold. I mean, I'm saying people, this may not be 17 people who have bought it. It might be one person who has bought 17. If you made that investment decision, I am sorry. But you could probably afford it, so who cares? And then again, $84 straight down to 67, and I think that will keep on going to around 50 at least. You can see there it's still 67, but recently $62.44. So it's going to keep on going. You can see here 70, 70, 69, 68, 62. If we go to the next one, which is, am I on the wrong page? Yes, I am. Let's see if we can find the Pokemon Center one. There's the Pokemon Center one. So again, it's even saying this is still pre-sale, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But again, $1,195 straight down to $466. Someone has bought it for that price. Like, that's just crazy, and it's halved within a month. You just don't have to do this. I just don't get it. See this with the cards as well. So if we're looking at some of the last sold, here, obviously this is in pounds because my currency is pounds. So obviously TCG Player is in dollars, but here we're just going to have a look in pounds because I'm on the English eBay. Again, the prices vary very differently. Obviously these ones are sold from the US, it's saying here, because the delivery is insane, which is why when I'm searching for cards, I normally just buy it from my country. So if I'm searching, I'll put item location just as UK because that just makes it easy for me and I don't have to worry about really high packaging costs. So again, £30 here for this Misty's Lapras, and then the neck or other ones, 35, 35, 34, 31, 23, but that is CGC 10, very odd. Oh yeah, it's Japanese, my bad. Again, there's one for 30, 35, 21. That's English? So you can see this how things are changing so much. If we go to the next one, we have the Mewtwo. So we have the regular full art, which is £24. Then the SIR, 407, but then another one. So that one, they were both sold on the same day. So one went for £407, the other one went for £291. You can see the price very different on that is ridiculous, to be honest. We just haven't decided what the prices are going to be. I think the price is going to tank. I think it's going to be lower than the 291. So if you're buying for 407, kind of shame on you for fueling the scalpers, really. But if you've sold it for 407, good on you. Fair play, mate. I've got the gold one there, 370. The full art, again, so even here, the full art, £39, and then one for £24. So again, it's just ridiculous. I think the £24 one is probably the better call. Again, 329. Got some of the gold full arts here. I really like the gold cards. 318. If we keep on going, we have got the Ho-Oh, Ethan's Ho-Oh. So again, the same thing's happening. Varied prices, £125 here, £129 there, then £103. So someone's getting a little bit more of a bargain, £176, £187, £145, £125. So going from 187 to £100, that's a very, very big card price difference, especially for cards which are only just coming out. They will definitely be coming out now, because I've seen people starting to pull them. They will be going straight online. So if you are selling, my advice would be to put it up straight away. If you are buying, my advice would be to not buy it straight away. See, depending on what side of the market you're on, is how you should go for it, to be honest. All depends whether you're selling or buying. Another one, Cynthia's Garchomp. Prices vary massively again. We've got £172 here, £125 there, £156 here, 177, 167, 127, 182, 260. That was on the 21st of May, so last week. So you've even seen people here buying it before that other person. So this one, 177, then a week later, someone buys it for 260. When did they buy it for 167? 177. They bought it on the 18th of May, and then someone on the 21st of May buys it for 260, which is mad. If you can afford it and you're not bothered about the money, then fair play. Why not? But for me, it just seems ridiculous, to be honest. This card is 180. Then we've got some of the EXs. Now, if we're talking about the EXs, I even think that they are overpriced, because a lot of the time EX is generally just £1, £2, £3, maybe £4 if it's a good one. The only ones that I've seen which are quite expensive, like a regular EX, are the evolutions from Prismatic. So they seem to be going at about, let's say they're £6, £7, £8, £6 to £10 from what I've seen is what they seem to be going for. So I'd be very surprised if the regular EXs from Destined Rivals do the same thing, because I don't think they're as popular Pokemon or as good cards as the evolutions from Prismatic. I mean, Prismatic is insane, but even that's dropping quite a bit. We can have a look at that to see if they are going down as well. But we can have a look at Journey Together. So Journey Together, the set just before Destined Rivals, can show the market trend of what is going to happen with Destined Rivals. So if we look at the booster box, there's a little bit of an outlier here because it seems like none have been sold. So it has kind of gone up and down, and then it just shoots to zero, but obviously it just seems like none have been sold. So that one isn't the best one really to look at. If we look at, though, the Pokemon Center ETB, will it do the same thing? Yes, it does. So it starts off massively high, $300, 2 items sold there for 346. Then 2 months later, it's 116. So if you just wait on that FOMO, you've really, really got to be careful with these types of things, because it is absolutely insane how the price changes after a little while. It really does change fast. You just got to be really, really careful about it. The Journey Together is, personally, I thought Journey Together wasn't. It was kind of overhyped. Let me spit it out. Just had Prismatic Evolutions, which was really good set, and hype at Pokemon at that time was way up there, like really, really high. You get Journey Together, and people are like, "Oh my god, it's like trainer Pokemon and everything, and you get to see all these things, and you got like Lily's Clefairy, and woo, it's great." I mean, it's a good card, yeah, but 300 quid? No, not at all. But Like, you could just tell that the price of Journey Together was going to come down. And now, to be fair, you kind of can get things maybe a couple of quid over MSRP, but that's completely fine. Like, if you want a booster box, or a booster bundle, normally about 23, I can get them for 25. And anyone can, because that's what they're selling for, which is a good thing. If we we've had a look at the regular one. Let's have a look at the regular. We had a look at the Pokemon Center one. Let's have a look at the regular one. Again, it did start off not too bad, and then it shot up. Like, how's that? 1,000? Well, 100, almost 200 of these selling for 123, and then the next few days go straight down to 87. And I'm not sure the exact price of a EDB in dollars for retail price, but in the UK about 44-ish, 45. So if I'm going for 50, that's not too bad. So I think if this is 68, I would assume it's not too bad a price for one of these. You can see it's gone down 23% in 3 months. In the last month, it's actually gone up a little bit. I can't get it from how much it's went down from there because of just 1 month, 2 months. 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months. It's just the scale of what it's got. But you can even see some of the cards. Let's have a look at Lily's Clefairy. So, Lily's Clefairy. Okay, that's not the best one to look at. We can hopefully Enzoroark. Okay, there we go. So, started off at 220. It's now 80. And still going down. So, my advice here is just to be really careful with buying things straight away, because the price is always going to be inflated for a new set, especially at the moment. I think at the moment that is more of a fact than has ever been, apart from maybe in the boom during COVID in 2020. But that was mainly like more of a vintage boom from what I could tell. Obviously, people were still looking at new sets because it was like Crown Zenith and all that, and that was a really good set and it had really good pull rates. Destined Rivals, the pull rates, from what I have seen personally, by watching videos and other people opening them, I've got a few to open. I will be doing that. They have been absolutely insane, like really good. People have been pulling them like left, right, and center. Like that Mewtwo has been pulled lots and lots of times. So that in itself is going to cause the price to go massively down. Why it didn't happen for Prismatic Evolutions is because, well, the pull rates on that are crazy. You just really struggle to pull something unless you are PTCG Radio, where he had a special collection box, and in that special collection box pulled 2 Umbreons, which no words for that. Like, that was just an absolute insane opening video. Like, that's just crazy. He said, "Oh, this is my first pack of Prismatic Evolutions," and he pulls the Umbreon. Good for you. Good for you. But anyway, if you like these kind of videos, please like, subscribe, comment. Just try and watch it to the end. Like, just that watch time is really, really helpful. I'll be pumping out more videos when I can, trying to do videos which will help other people as well. Looking at pricing, looking at art, looking at lots of different things, just giving basic advice on what you could do and what you could help you with Pokemon and collecting Pokemon in general. So if you could, please click on one of the other videos which pops up. It'll really help the channel. It helps me go a little bit further. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Okay, so it's finally time for me to open Destined Rivals. I've opened a couple of packs here and there, put them on the Instagram page. If you want to watch those videos and you see what I pull, I do get something quite good, which is nice. Please follow that account. It's the same name as my YouTube account. You should be able to find the links on my mall page. If you like these kind of videos as well, please like, subscribe, watch for more. It really helps out. So when we're talking about Destined Rivals, we're talking about a really popular set, which was extremely hard for some people to get their hands on, which is unfortunate, but a lot of people did get quite a bit of stuff. I have seen some people who maybe got a little bit too much stuff, but that's for another day. So the cards that we're kind of looking for here are things like Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Also, I would really like the Moltres. I would also really like Ethan's Typhlosion. And I quite like the Misty cards as well, which are really nice. Obviously, I'm not expecting to get them all. I would love at least one of them, but we shall see. Let's hope I actually get some luck, and let's dive right into opening the packs. So what I've got here are 2 Destined Rivals blister packs. I'm really hoping these blister packs actually come out of something, because to be honest, my luck with blister packs is terrible. Now, I never get anything. So I think I might open these 2 first. And these, there are about 21 packs here. These were collected from different shops, all little shops, none of the mainstream ones. So I'm hoping there may be things there. A lot of them come out of half booster boxes. But to begin with, I am going to move like these just to the side a little bit. And I'm going to move one of the blister packs. I might as well just put it there so it's up there. And I'm going to start off with the first one. We'll see it here. We've got the Zeb Striker, which is a really nice looking promo to me. We're just going to get straight into it and open it. I got these ones. Yeah, I think I already said I got these ones from Argos. Managed to get them. I think I bought them on release day, just online though. I did go to the Argos near me, and I didn't get anything, so that was a shame. They literally just had no product in at all. I tried my best. Oops. There is the Zeb Striker, or Zeb Striker, whatever it's called. Okay, first pack then. We've got the Destined Rivals Ho-Oh artwork, which is really nice. Hoping we get something nice. I've seen a lot of people getting good pulls, which is obviously a good thing. You can try and get the code card without revealing anything. I'll do it that way. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So we've got the Morpeko. Move that. Move that. Morpeko to begin with. Larvitar. Blipbug. Tuttle. Sacred Ash. Cool Hypno. I really like the circle on that. Team Rocket's Arbok. One of Team Rocket's best Pokemon, if you ask me. Oh, and the Cynthia's Roserade straight off the bat. What a pull. Yes, it is. Okay, and there is a crystal behind that. I'll grab a... Okay, that's a really good start. That I will just put there. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, that's the first time I've ever pulled anything out of a blister pack. First pack luck though. Your luck has got to come eventually. Tarantula. Misty's Magikarp. Ooh. Pichu. Tauros. Lipard. Huntail. Pinsir. Cyndaquil. Can we get 2 for 2? Oh, we do. We get an Arboliva EX. Anything behind? Just the green energy. Okay, third pack. The Cynthia pack. Katara, is it the next one? Oh, and it's just a holo with the psychic energy behind. On to the next triple blister then. Okay, the Cynthia artwork then. So the Porygon 2, the Pupitar, the Staryu. Some of these common cards, like the artworks on these are really good. Hippowdon, Morgram, Team Rocket's Venture Bomb, Dolive, Porygon 2 again, and a Team Rocket Sneasel holo with a basic energy behind. Not too bad. We will move on to the next pack. So I know everyone wants to get a pull, but these are just quite fun to open, you know. But isn't everything? Isn't everything? Code card again. Does anyone actually play that game? I don't. Weasel. Porygon. Not the Porygon 2. Ethan Sudowoodo. Coughing. Arcanine. Abomasnow. Judge. Tarantula. We've got a Rakuda and another holo. See, I told you. The Team Rocket one. Team Rocket have always got something. They always capture Pokemon, don't they? Don't they? Fairly sure they do. The Yanma. The Lapras. Oh, I like a Lapras. The Primate. Gen 1 right there. Dipplin. Ogapon. I'm not the biggest fan of Ogapon, you know. Team Rocket's Brother Butt. Melodic. Coffin. Is it the next one? That's one after this. Spike Mutt. Gym. And there you go. So we're going to get on to the booster box packs now anyway. We've done them. The triple blisters. We got a nice hit. We got the Cynthia's Roserade, which was a nice card to get. No complaints there. On the first pack as well. So I think that's a little bit special. Let's start tearing through these. Here we go. The first one, the Ho-Oh card. I don't know, but this feels different to me. Feels special. These cards compared to the triple blisters. Feels like there's something in these packs. It really does. We start off with a Skarmory, a Smoliv, Torchic, great starter there. Rotom, Morgrem, Marnie's Morgrem as well. Look at that hairstyle. Come on. Team Rocket's Venture Bomb, Toedscool, Roselia, and the Hydrapple. Another IR. See, I told you the first pack on that as well, on the loose packs, and we'll get a Hydrapple. Apart from me saying I would have minded a different one. But no complaints, yeah. So that's 2 IRs so far and 1 EX. I'm very surprised by that at the minute, actually. Because normally you get more EXs than you do IRs. It's a cool artwork though, that Misty's Gyarados. Pretty cool. With the water energy behind as well. Nice. Okay, on to the next one, the Team Rocket pack. There's the Nidoran, Carbink, Squavet, Rello, Golbat, Team Rocket's Archer, Ogapon, Dolive, and Kangaskhan. Anything? Team Rocket Mewtwo EX with the green energy behind. Third pack of these booster box packs. Oh, no, I wasn't. Played myself. And the electric energy. We're on to the Ethan's Ho-Oh. Alright. You know, I'm not one of the seasoned pros that are able to rip through all these packs super quickly. I'm doing the best I can. I will get better though, hopefully. And the Hollow Blaziken with the fighting energy. And the Flaffy. Starting off with Team Rocket's Flaffy. The Drowsy. Ooh, look at that artwork. Isn't that cool? Toedscool. Impidimp. Sacred Ash. Team Rocket's Hypno. Arbok. Larvitar. Porygon. And a Sneasel Hollow. Okay. With the Fire Energy. Haven't got too many of them. Team Rocket. And the Ethan's Typhlosion again with the basic energy. Do we think we can pull the Mewtwo from a Mewtwo pack? Imagine that. That would be something to do. Something to talk about, surely. There's the code card. Flip it around. The Quilava. Nidorina. Baltoy. Sudowoodo. Manectric. Yeah, sorry. Psyduck. Team Rocket's Energy. Ooh, that's a cool card. I don't even know what that does. This card can only be attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon. If this card is attached to anything other than a Team Rocket's Pokemon, discard this card. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 in any combination of energy, Psychic Energy, and Fire Energy. Is that? That's quite cool. If you have a Team Rocket deck, anyway. Oh, okay. I think I've got 3 of these now, and the Fire Energy as well. I mean, of all the EXs, it's a pretty good EX to get. Okay, the Ho-Oh artwork. Oh, and the Cynthia's Roserade, but not the Cynthia's Roserade that we want. Is, what do you know? Cynthia. I think I'm speeding up. We're about halfway through the blister pack, not blister pack, booster box packs. We've gotten what, 2 EXs, or 1 EX and the Hydrapple as well on the first card, or first pack, sorry. Feels like we, ooh, that floats. Feels like I keep getting stuff on the very first pack, and then nothing else. Just as I was saying it, we get the Team Rocket's Meow. Look, oh man, that's such a cool card. Another IR, the third IR that we'll pull now. Yeah, how clean is it? It looks pretty good on the centering. On the back, that looks, I don't know if there's a little mark. Maybe the tiniest mark. I think it's fine though. Hopefully. Really good centering though. Yes, man. Get in. Right, now I am very happy. Imagine if we pulled another thing as well. Just imagine. Okay, here's the Team Rocket stuff. We'll move that stuff aside. A Annihilate energy with the basic energy behind. Next card then. And it's a Zapdos. That's pretty cool. With the fighting energy. Okay, here's the Ho-Oh with Ethan. The Zeraora with the grass energy. Again, it is the Giovanni. And here's Mewtwo. And we have Ethan's Typhlosion. My leg is going dead with the fire energy behind. And on to the next one. And we're starting off with Misty Sty. A Misty's card would be really nice because I think Misty's cards are pretty good, to be fair. I really like the artworks on them and I really like the colours, you know? Like I think they have done Crystal. Okay, another IR, okay. With the Dondozo EX, a double banger, kind of. Fighting energy. Okay, it's not the best Pokemon, not one that I know, but again, it's another IR, so no complaints with the Dondozo in the back. I told you there'll be something else in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Still time. Still time. I know there is. Can't remember exactly which boxes and stuff things came out of. Feel like 4 IRs in 26 packs is pretty good, if you ask me. Team Rocket's Meowth, Dwebble, Cyndaquil, Manectric, Team Rocket's Factory, Cornerstone, Ogerpon, Fortress. Oh my god. The Clamperl! Another IR, I'm pretty sure it is. Not getting any of the massive bangers, but we're getting pulled at 5. Can we get a hat trick? 3 in a row. And it is the Goribus with the fire energy. Down to the last 3. Gotta be something. Come on. Can we get an SIR? Team Rocket Mewtwo. There we go. The Crustle, Moltres. I know not all of them are SIRs. They're my chase cards. So it would be very nice to get some of them. And a Holo Annihilate. Last pack Magic. Come on. Last one. Team Rockets. Team Rockets artwork. Come on. One more. There we go. Code card. This is it. It's the last one. Cyndaquil. Zubat. Nosepass. Nosepass, that was proper thingied. Accented. Okay, Metang. Breloom. This it? Okay. And it's a Misty's Gyarados. No last pack magic, but it come with the blue water energy. Anyway, if you like this pack opening, we done quite well if you ask me. We have got, let's take a look at them all again. The Cynthia's Roserade, very first pack. Then we got the Hydrapple IR. Just look at them, look at it shine. Then we got the Team Rocket's Meowth, which I think is the highlight, as well as the Cynthia's Roserade. We got a Crystal. And then we got the Clampill. And to my surprise, we actually got more IRs than we got EX cards. We only got 4 EX cards, and we got a double. We got 2 Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. Okay then, so that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please can you like, subscribe, comment what card you thought was the best, and I will see you in the next one. You're definitely not alone if you thought, maybe I can make a little bit of money out of this hobby, which I really enjoy. In this video, we're going to have a look at a couple of different ways of how to make a little bit of extra money with your Pokemon cards. And if I'm being honest, you don't have to start off with thousands. A lot of people seem to think that like you need to have a lot of money to make that money, and yes, it does help, but you can just start off small and build it up every so often. So let's think about how we can make a little bit more money on the side if that's something that you're interested in. First thing though, I want to thank you for clicking on this video, and if you like this kind of video, please drop a like on this video, drop a comment, and please subscribe to the channel, because we're doing a lot more stuff like this, these kind of investment kind of videos, if this is what people are interested in. Other stuff which are just maybe some opinion-based videos, and other things which are probably just a little bit for fun, but always based around Pokemon and Pokemon cards. So first things first, you don't need to drop like $500 or £500 on like a vintage Charizard, or maybe you're looking at that Moonbreon and you're thinking, oh, if I can get that raw and get it graded, then it's probably going to be worth a lot more money. You can just start off a lot smaller, and if you're starting off a lot smaller and you're not really sure where to start, like, just pick something that you know, maybe a Pikachu card, or a cheaper Umbreon card, or a cheaper Charizard card, and it's a really good way of like learning the ropes of what you might need to do in the future. So if you start off small, something that you know, a lot less risk, and then you can build it up, and build it up. Think about the cards and Pokemon that retain value. You've got those cards such as Charizard, Evolutions, Pikachus as well, are all something that are really popular in the TCG. And if you like think about cards that have them on or feature them, they're really popular and they do tend to sell. Start off with cards which are maybe $20 to $50 or pounds, and see like maybe if you want to retain it for a little while, see how the market moves first, and then think about what you want to do with that card. You might just want to sell it on straight away, or you might want to do something else with it. You might want to sit on it for a while, because that'll give you some time to think what you want to do and what might happen with that card in the future. Because sometimes people sit on these cards, they might have bought quite a few, and then that card like builds in value massively. A lot of the time it is inflated and it's done to manipulate the market, but if you catch it in the right time, you will have done quite well. Think about the Drowsy from Scarlet and Violet base set. It was like a $5 card, maybe a $10 card, and it boosted all the way up to a $70 card. Maybe when was it, February, March time, and then it just went straight back down to like a $25, $30 card. Next, try and understand the market a little bit more. Do your research, go onto websites which may help you think about what might happen in the market. So things like eBay, TCG Player, look at other sites that you may know of as well. That might help you see how cards have gone up, how cards have gone down, do a little wave. Think about cards that are driven by demand, timing, and then look at the value of that card. It isn't all just about the rarity of a specific card or Pokemon. Really focus on the cards that have a high difference in value between the raw card and the graded card. Think about for some cards, they have like a $10 raw price, and if they're graded a PSA 10, for example, they can be priced at $150 plus, and that's a gap which may be where your potential profit is. If you can source those cards while they're cheap and while their raw value is lower, and then you're able to grade them, yes, you do have that price of grading, depending on which service you go for. Some are more expensive than others. That card value can increase a lot, which can be very nice and very exciting, to be honest, when you get something really good. There's also timing to consider. Some cards, or cards that feature certain Pokemon, tend to spike in value at certain times of the year. Sometimes it is when they're featured in something like a TV show, a film, or most recently a game, such as the TCG Pocket game that increased, to be honest, just the value of absolutely every card. And we're starting to see the market trend go back down. So you need to learn to recognize when this might happen. Obviously, these things are hard to predict. So a lot of the time, I find it just better to, rather than really trying to predict the market, because you just don't know, like a lot of things, the markets are really hard to predict. Stay consistent with it. Use those cards that you know work well, those Pokemon that you know sell well, and just keep on going, keep plugging away, and it will get there. And you'll be able to build your portfolio over time. So grading to maximize profit is probably one of the better ways that you can go about this. Obviously, a lot of people have different opinions, but if you want to start off small, this may be a good way to go. So like I've already said before, a raw card might be $10, but then a graded highly card may be worth $100. That same card can inflate its price a lot just by getting it graded and it being good condition, which ends up with it being worth a lot more. Obviously depending on grading company, but we will look at that very soon. Other cards may be worth a lot raw as well. They may go up in price, but it's taking that risk of buying it at the raw value price first and then getting it graded. You do have to take grading costs and postage costs into account as well if you want to really keep track of where your profits are. So the first company I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to go through them quite quickly. I'm going to keep it short because some I probably know a little bit more about than others. And there probably are videos which explain a little bit more about each grading company. I just want to highlight them here in this video. The first one is PSA. They're probably the most well established, especially over in the US, but you do see a lot of PSA cards over here. They're the one that you probably want to use if you are trying to maximize value at the minute. Definitely if you're in the US, I would say. They're the ones that a lot of grading companies are trying to topple, really, and a lot of places such as Collector and other apps use PSA prices to determine the value of the card. PSA are not the only grading company in town these days. So within the UK, especially, Ace are becoming a much bigger thing run by Randolph and other partners who I do not know of. They're starting to build their brand around the design of their slabs. So there are different ways to get the A slab. You can get the basic slab, which is like black and white or something like that. Then you can get the color match, which will be the same design as the basic slab, but it matches the color to your card. And then you can get the Ace label. Now, just as an example of the Ace label, it carries on the art of the card onto the top of the label above. And for some cards, that, to be honest, looks really, really cool. And in the UK market, Ace is definitely on the rise. I'm starting to see a lot of UK collectors and sellers going for Ace over PSA instead. And from what I'm seeing, Ace is starting to move into the US, but I don't know how long it will take for them to become a major player over there, over the other grading companies that are there and flooding the market right now. So another exciting one is Tag. They have been around for a while. I think they've only really been doing Pokemon cards for maybe the last 3 or 4 years. They're an AI-based company. And what I really like about them is that they give you a full report of all the detail that has gone into grading your slab and why there may have been a problem. So they tell you exactly why your card got that grade. It tells you the rank of that card. It tells you how many of that card have been graded by Tag. And that's a really big winner for me with Tag. Really like them. And to be honest, I do like the look of the slabs. So they're really clear and really cool. It just looks really slick to me. To be honest, I can't fault Tag too much, apart from with me being in the UK, it just takes a while for the card to get back. I think it took about 3 months, which isn't too bad. They came back in time, so it was kind of what I was expecting. Maybe a couple of weeks later, but no major problems there. I expect it to be quite a while if it's coming from America. So the last two companies that I'm going to talk about, Beckett and CGC, I think their cards, when they're graded a 10, I think you can get you can get a gold label, or you can get a black label with black label with Beckett, gold label with CGC. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be wrong. I've never used these, and I've not really been too interested in these because over where I live, they're not the biggest players, so they're not kind of the grading companies that I use. But I think when you do get one, a pristine 10, it can inflate the price like tenfold, which is insane. But the risk of doing that is a lot harder. So with those two companies, be mindful of which cards that you do grade. I think for other TCGs such as Dragon Ball, I think they use Beckett. People use Beckett quite a lot. So also it just depends on the TCG that you use. If you do a different TCG to Pokemon, maybe they're the better company for you. So overall, just choose a grading company which suits you. So PSA if you're looking to maximize value at the moment. Ace if you're looking for something that looks really cool and trying to look for value, because I think the value of Ace Labs are rising at the minute. And Tag, to be honest, I think the value of them is quite good as well. And if you want like precision AI grading, that's something really good and something really to look into. So now we've talked about a couple of different things, we need to think about where we can actually find these cards. So the obvious choice for me is looking at eBay. You can get a breakdown of loads of different cards, and it's one of the biggest marketplaces for Pokemon cards at the minute. There are tons of listings. You can get them at a buy now price, or you can get them in an auction, which a lot of the time you do get them between 15 and 10% cheaper, depending on the card. Sometimes it can go higher. Quite a lot of the time it does go higher, to be fair. But just be really careful about that. If you are bidding on a card, really check how high you want to go. You may have just found it near the end of its auction, so you might not have that much time to research. So be really careful if you are buying at auction. And you can, a lot of the times, bid if you are trying to look at the buy now price. A lot of the times people will be reasonable. If it is a bit overvalued and you want to knock a couple of quid off, it's not too bad. People often do sell for those prices. Take your time, do your research, and look for your chance to maybe find like that undervalued gem card, which is really good and that you really want. Look for maybe auctions that are ending at odd times as well. This is where you can really maximize your value and your potential profit from buying a card which you may have sniped really cheaply, and then to be able to sell it on later on. But obviously that might just be an awkward time for you, so you may not be able to buy it, let's say 2 in the morning, because you might have work the next day. You just got to be like mindful of what's realistic. I know there are a lot of groups on Facebook where people buy, sell, trade Pokemon cards. One place to do this is through Marketplace, where a lot of local people you may be able to buy off are selling their Pokemon cards. And on Facebook Marketplace, you may be able to buy, because it's a collection, you may be able to buy it between 70 and 80%. And then if you want to take the time to sell all these cards individually, that is a good way to maximize profit. And if you do find some really good, like quality, good condition cards, that might be like really good to get them ones graded. So you can really look through the set and think which cards are good enough to get graded and which cards can I move on a little bit quicker. Although it can take quite a while sometimes to upload cards onto eBay. Think about the time you want to invest in it. It is a good place to try and maximize value. Vinted is another place. You might want to be careful though, because a lot of the times when I've looked on Vinted, the prices tend to be a little bit higher than on marketplaces such as eBay, because I feel like when people are using Vinted, they may not know as much about the Pokemon cards. They may have just checked the price. Sometimes they've been left on there for like a couple of months and the price has gone down a lot. Just be careful and like double check on eBay or another marketplace to see how much that card is actually worth, because the people on Vinted may not have known, because it isn't like the top place to buy Pokemon cards, which is understandable. And the last place, especially if you are in the US, think about looking at TCG Player. It's a really good place for tracking values, how much cards have been sold for, how many cards have been sold at that specific time or that day. And even I use that, even though it's in dollars, it's still a good place to like track how much cards should be worth. Although the UK market is slightly different to the US market, we just don't really have a like viable TCG Player alternative. And if you're in Europe, there is like the card market, I think, is run out of Germany. I think it's trying to be a little bit like TCG Player. Check it out. I don't really know too much about it, but I have seen good things. But I've also seen other not so good things. It's meant to be quite good. Check it out, do your research, and see what you find. So what I'm trying to say is just turn that strategy into a bit of a system. Research the cards first, find the cards which you like, which are popular and may have a big jump from the raw price to the graded price. Try and buy smart, try and find those deals. Really do your research on a specific card that you want to buy. Try and find it in good quality condition, which you know will help you maximize the value of that card. And grade wisely. Choose the best cards in your collection for you. Cards which you are sure will get the highest grades possible. Obviously, there will be those times when you think, oh, this card's this card's like minty, and it just comes back an 8, and you're like, how? It just happens. Just try your best with the cards. That's all you can do, really. Now, most grading companies grade by 4 categories. They'll look at the centering. So look at the centering of your card. Is it that 50-50 border, like bottom to top, and 50-50 border left to right? Just make sure it's equal all the way around, and that'll help you the most. If it's not within that like 55 to 45 range, for most companies, probably it won't get a 10, regardless of whether the other categories are 10s as well. Centering will just knock it down a level straight away. So sell your cards, just look at the last solds maybe on eBay or card prices on TCG Player, and just try and make that margin of profit as good as you can. Just make sure the card is around that price. If you've got sellers or buyers which you already know, they will probably be willing to pay that 5 to 10% extra if it's a good card and they know that you're going to send it in good quality condition. And overall, it isn't rocket science. Just be consistent with it. You will get there in the end, and the profit will start coming in. Treat it like a little bit of a hobby, a little bit of side business, and you eventually will be successful. Treat it like most things in life. Always think about consistency. And it's not a lottery ticket. It's just not going to happen straight away. Think about if you're trying to lose weight in the gym. After your first gym session, you're not going to be where you want to be straight away, are you? It just takes time, consistency, and thinking about what you're actually doing. Just a few quick tips before we wrap up. Don't overpay for a card just because it's popular. Really think about what you're buying. Always check recent sold prices. Look at the condition really carefully. Look at the pictures. If it's only got one picture and it doesn't show you the back, probably just avoid that card. There's no point like clicking on it. It's probably not that good quality. Even though they may say in the description that it's mint, it's probably not. So just leave it alone. Start slow with grading as well. Just start finding your feet first before you dive straight in. And you know with kind of cards which sell and which cards will get graded highly. And if you do know that you're wanting to sell these cards, don't hoard them. Send them out into the wild. If it hits your target price, get them gone, get them sold, and then you can buy more cards to then be able to be sold on later on. So if you found this video helpful, please be sure to drop it a like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And what's your best flip so far? Which card have you bought raw, then sold on for a bit of profit later on? I'd like to see what other ideas people have come up with and what they've done, because I will respond to the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Do you remember when you were a kid and you opened up a good pack and then like you got something really, really good? Like they were just really good days. But nowadays, if you're collecting Pokemon, you're trying to navigate the Pokemon market, which can be an absolute pain. Suffice to say, things have kind of changed. So we're going to explore the emotional journey of collectors, which are trying to focus on nostalgia and trying to navigate the Pokemon market at the same time. And to be honest, it's just something which is kind of muddled up and people really trying to struggle with it at the moment. For a lot of it though, Pokemon cards are more than just collectibles. For the people that really want the cards, there's something that brings them back to their childhood. Like Base Set released in 1999 and it introduced us to the world of the Pokemon TCG. And then sets like Neo Genesis brought us to places like Johto region and introduced us to fan favourites such as Lugia and Typhlosion, which personally, out of the starter Pokemon in that game, not Typhlosion obviously, Cyndaquil was the one that I always chose. Just because I really liked the fire Pokemon. I didn't know if he was the best or not, it's just the one I wanted to choose. So these cards from the past hold a lot of sentimental value, and you see these videos of people like finding these cool sets which have just been sitting in their loft or in a garage or something. And to be honest, I think every one of us wants to be able to have that moment or that opportunity. It reminds us of simpler times, like trading with cards in the schoolyard before they got banned at school again, because, you know, that seemed to happen in an English school. And then just like battling in schoolyards as well, with the Pokemon cards, of course, not with anything else. And then just the excitement of opening up a new pack, because when you were a kid, you didn't really get to open as many packs. If you think about it, you see how many packs people are opening these days. Unless you were really lucky and you had just parents which were buying you absolutely anything that you wanted, well, and fair play to those people that do, look at you. But for me, I remember the first time I got Hollow Moltres. It cost me £5 of my own money. And it was like the best thing ever. And like I took it into school and everyone was wanting it. Because I think at those days, from where I was living anyway, some people had some good cards, but that one was my favourite. And everyone was trying to pass me like a little stack of these cards like that. And I was just like, it's all rubbish. I don't want it. I want this really good Moltres. And I had a decent stack of cards anyway. So why would I want to trade my holographic, cool looking Moltres card for something else? And that is kind of what made Moltres one of my favourite Pokemon, which is why I really like the legendary birds, because Moltres was one of my first major rare Pokemon cards. But unfortunately, like a lot of people, my collection got lost over time. Whether that was Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I did have both, because it was just a trend at the time. And to be honest, I still quite like Yu-Gi-Oh! I just don't really collect it anymore. But I've got a couple of decks. Seeing like the passion that people have for the hobby at the minute was kind of what brought me back, rather than just the value of it, which is pretty good, but you kind of need that money to make that money. So at the minute, it's just collecting, seeing what you like, and trying to get the cards which you want, which is really what it's about, isn't it? And if you're like me, you probably once traded your lunch for a really cool card. So you got the card, but you were hungry that day. And if we fast forward to today, the Pokemon card has massively evolved. Modern sets such as 151 Prismatic Evolutions have gained a lot of recent traction, with some cards gaining very big prices. Like the Charizard from 151 went from £100 to £200 overnight. The Prismatic cards was kind of unheard of. There wasn't many cards in the Scarlet and Violet era which was over £300. I think one of them was the Pikachu, the other one maybe the Greninja from Twilight Masquerade. There just seems to be like a rule of every evolution in Prismatic Evolutions had to be over £300 at least, with the Umbreon being over £1,000. At the minute, I think it's dropped down to maybe £700-800, but it's still ridiculous for cards from a modern set which have only just released. Although at the time of this video, a lot of other cards as well, their values are also dropping quite a lot, and they're on a bit of a downward spiral. The opposite to sealed product at the minute. Pokemon cards themselves are going down and sealed product is going up, which is a really weird trend based on the value of some of the cards which are out at the moment. While vintage cards are tending at the minute to be hold in value, although they did have that massive spike in the 2020s, in early 2020 or 2020 around that time, they went back down, but they're tending at the minute to not be going up and down as much as modern cards, because modern cards they're still trying to figure out the potential values, and they do go up and down quite a lot, so they're a bit riskier than vintage cards depending on the condition of the cards, because people want modern because the condition is a lot better than vintage cards at the moment. However, modern cards tend to be aimed at collectors and competitive play at the same time, whereas vintage cards not so much these days. I don't think you can even use vintage cards in competitive play. I think it cuts off at a certain point. I don't play too much, so I'm not really sure exactly when that point is, but I think that's what I've heard. So the modern cards themselves often have really good artwork and really good powerful abilities. So if we put this in other terms, it's kind of like comparing a classic car to a really high-tech modern car. It just doesn't really work, and it has its own market value and potential buyers. One has this like really cool nostalgic charm, and the other one has autopilot and all these like cool little doohickeys that you can just use in the car. So the market itself is really dynamic. Shifts from vintage to modern to vintage to modern to modern to vintage to vintage to modern. And the demand is, honestly, it's just driven by the people who are buying the cards. So we never really know where it's going to go. This can kind of create a little bit of a dilemma for Pokemon collectors. A lot of our hearts are with vintage sets, but we're chasing the modern cards, and we often favour the newer releases, especially like Destined Rivals, which people are really seeming to like, although it was quite hard to get. But if you look in the right places, it's still available in certain shops. And you tend to chase these cards because it's what everyone else is doing, and you get that dreaded FOMO. It's just part of human nature. If you're in that crowd, you tend to follow that crowd. And because everyone else was collecting Destined Rivals, is what you wanted to collect. People say that Prismatic Evolutions is something that's really hard to get and really hard to pull from. So that's why you really want Prismatic Evolutions. When Journey Together came out, everyone really wanted Journey Together. Personally, I said it wasn't the best set. I kind of liked it, but because it didn't have any of those premier Pokemon like Pikachu, Charizard, Umbreon, and its placement in releases between Prismatic Evolutions and Destined Rivals, it just didn't have that appeal in the end. It had a really good release where everyone was wanting it, if you could say that. Price wise, it didn't, and then it just dropped when people realized it wasn't as as marketable, let's say, which is really good for collectors, not so good for scalpers. It's challenging to reconcile our emotional attachment with recent market trends. Do we invest in what we love, or do we buy what the market dictates? It's like choosing between your childhood sweetheart and a millionaire match on a dating show. You just don't know which one you want. The nostalgic effect of Pokemon cards is a testament to the enduring appeal of the franchise and the power of emotional connections in the collectibles market. So how do we navigate this? Well, here are some strategies. Firstly, think about diversifying your collection. Include some vintage and some modern, so you get that nostalgic effect, but also you're not feeling left out in the current market. And trends do change over time, so having a bit more of a diverse portfolio will really benefit you in the end. During the COVID period, it was vintage that was really big in 2020 and 2021, but now it's more modern stuff such as Destined Rivals and Prismatic Evolutions. Although really, and I say this with the utmost passion, hold off before you start buying, especially singles and things on the second-hand market as soon as the set comes out. Because some of these sets are at really inflated prices and then they just shoot down straight away. And there are just some ridiculous people that spend a ridiculous amount of money before the set's even out from someone who's selling it before they even have their hands on the product. Just hold on, be patient, you will get that set. And number 2, try and stay informed, just keep up with those market trends. But don't let them dictate your entire strategy. If a card's shooting up, try not to buy it because it probably will go back down in time. As we've seen with certain illustration rares. So look on TCG Player, look at a lot of current Scarlet and Violet illustration rares and you will find those market trends. Just stay away from that terrifying feeling of FOMO. Too many times people give into it and then they just start regretting their decision. And there are plenty of videos on YouTube of people saying, I've invested this much, now I can't shift it and I've just lost money. Set yourself personal goals though. Define what you want your collection to be. Nostalgia, investment, gameplay, a mix of all of it. Try and do a mix of all of it. It'll probably be the best thing for you. Even go into something more specific, like collecting a card from a specific Pokemon, or collecting all of the cards from that Pokemon, or collecting a specific set. Personally, I don't like really doing the sets. It just feels like a pain to me and a bit of a slog, and I don't find it as enjoyable. Try connecting with the community though. There are lots of groups out there which you can join, which is really good. Engage with people, get their insight, trade, see what they collect, and then you just get more experience out of it. Use the knowledge that's around you. There are loads of people who are probably experts, which know a lot more than me, to be honest. That's why I use them, because I can use those people to help me. And there's loads of knowledge out there. Just use it to the best of your ability. Websites like TCG Player, PokeBeach, or all these kind of places which can lead you in the right direction. Use them and you'll go on the right track. There's also loads of videos on YouTube which can help you out. Hopefully this one as well will help you out in a certain little way. Just use what you can. Try and build that knowledge up. Just don't rush into any little decisions. Think of it like a balanced diet. But we do know how hard one of them is to have, because who doesn't sneak a chocolate in or two? Or more than one or two. Think of it like a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of market savvy, and a sprinkle of fun. But most of all, just embrace the journey. Ultimately, collecting Pokemon cards should bring you joy over anything else. Whether you're chasing the thrill of the hunt, reliving childhood memories, or seeking investment opportunities, it is about your whole journey, not just the end product. Too often, I see people, the more they buy, the more they want, and it's a never-ending cycle and circle, and it just doesn't stop. People need to know their limits. With Pokemon being such a large franchise, there almost is too much to collect and it's really hard. So trying to collect everything is just going to be impossible, and it could take you a lifetime, especially with the amount of stuff that is coming out. Take your time, be patient. Patient is a hard thing to get right. Patience is something which is really valuable, and it'll get you where you want to be. So embrace your passion, stay informed, and remember that every card has a journey to it. Okay, so what's your favourite vintage card, and how do you balance nostalgia with the current market? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this experience into the collector's dilemma, like, subscribe, and then just hit that bell so you get some notifications. It'd be really good if more people could get some help as well. And if you're still watching, click one of the videos which pops up. They're also really good and informative. Thank you very much. Good night.